Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 12:25 p.m. on the 18th of July 2024. This is my second attempt to make this video. It blipped off again only 5 minutes in, so I've decided to repeat from scratch rather than separate it into several parts. It gets annoying after a while. Probably gets annoying for my viewers as well. But anyway, here we go. Another day in paradise. Today's title is Memories 18th of July 2024. And the subtitle is A Kiss Before Dying of Asexual Loathing. And I posted a photo of the Beauregard. Handsome boy finally had a bath and a brush today. And here he is, looking very handsome indeed. Yes, Bobo Charlie. 18th of July 2023, 2:19 a.m. I just finished copying across my journal. I am exhausted. A review of Beginning at Pip Theatre, Milton. My daughter is starring as Laura in Beginning by David Eldridge, produced by Crystal Aarons of Moonspark Productions. It's a fantastic show about a new developing romance between a 38-year-old woman keen to have a child and a very reticent, gun-shy 42-year-old man. It's funny and heartfelt and poignant. I might have Mama T bias, but it's frankly a great night at the theatre and thought-provoking as well. Enjoy. Here's another shot of her, looking rather fabulous indeed. Another great review from Sandra Harmon at Theatre Travels, a fabulous read below. I should have actually copied across the actual reviews, but never mind. It's a year ago now and we've moved on since in the space-time continuum, just saying. 18th of July 2022, 11:11, 1:11, now 8:11 p.m. What are the angels banging on about now? Laughing out loud. 18th of July 2021, 11:11 a.m. Just woke up. I must have needed the rest after yesterday's burst of creativity. Time to get up and see what today gifts me. The tulip is meant to be black but looks like a dark purple. Still pretty though. Indeed, very pretty. And you can just see I had two little hyacinths behind it. They were up early that year. They're up, but they're not flowering yet. But it's been quite cold the last week, so maybe I haven't planted tulips this year, but maybe I'll get some hyacinth blooms at least. Still in 2021, abc.net.au, fury over restrictions that decimate live music but allow sport crowds. Yes, it's insane, the hypocrisy of that. I wrote, it's bullshit, which is, the only word to describe it, really. Kellyanne replied, it's all bullshit in politics, which is true. 18th of July 2020. I just finished dictating my Kabbalah notes from 2001 into Word. My God and Goddess, but that man who taught the classes was a filthy, misogynistic creep. Some of the lessons were valuable, But I used to have to eat my own liver with the constant violations of my womanhood, or creepy comments about my vagina and veiled threats, as he was friends with Davidson. They were all so disgustingly enmeshed, toxic and depraved. That old man is dead now, but I'm not going to speak good of him. I will, as always, with any entity I come into contact with, speak the truth of my interactions with them. I wonder if there will ever be a safe environment for me to learn Kabbalah in, or any other kind of study. But I gained much from standing in my own light and integrity. Those lessons felt like the Hunger Games, but I rose above it until I could not put myself through that abuse any more, then quit. Perhaps that was the teaching, Hashem putting me in dens of iniquity and with depraved, salivating men, so I could gain mastery over my own trauma issues from my original wounds. Not for the faint-hearted, people. And oh, warning, warning, do not try this at home. Ha ha, evil fuckers. What did you do, Charlie? What did you just do? The computer's doing very strange things, like acting on its own accord without me actually touching it, which is interesting, given the entity we're speaking of. I'm so glad my life is better now. Getting free of monsters was not so simple, given they harassed me and stalked me for years at Hanukkah functions. But I proved myself more powerful than they with their ridiculous, petty, abusive pretensions. My grandfather, whom I never met, must have really given me extra heart, soul and courage in those days. I was determined to learn, a distraction from the constant, unabated domestic terrorism I was also experiencing at that time. Mostly I just learned that most humans suck and are vacuous, cowardly and vile. It was not good for me to have that negative reinforcement, as I had already learned that in infancy. But the gods pushed me to show up, stand up, and honour my own light, and so I did. Here's another gorgeous photo of the handsome Beau. Beautiful doggy he was. There's Charlie. Who's that? Who's that photo of Charlie? Who is it? This is a piece of writing that is not mine, but I liked it so much I posted it. Written by Annabelle Vizcara. Hope I pronounced that right. Let's talk crone and how she's dying. The crone is a woman who no longer menstruates physically. She is now a fully embodied, wise woman with many moons behind her and the experience she has acquired. She can now turn her attention to being a guide for the young, being free in her body, no longer worried about pregnancy, pretense, or deep fluctuations in hormones. She has come to a serene place of acceptance and embodied dance with the rhythms and energetics of life. I have been guided by grandmothers with silver hair as magnificent as the moonlight for a very long time in my dreams. It has helped me develop a keen appreciation for the crone. It has allowed me to see aging as an exquisite and delicate gift. It has helped me make healthy choices in the now and embrace with subtle anticipation the day when I too will be a grandmother to the children of our world. In ancient times and cultures, the crone was revered. The crone was consulted for matters of importance and well-being of tribes. Children and grown alike would come for advice and storytelling to the skirts of the crone. The grey hair was looked at as stripes of honour, and the wrinkles as badges of courage and experience. When a woman's blood flow would stop coming, it was said she no longer needed it, as she had accumulated the wisdom of the moon enough to embody it and invite it to stay. These wise women understood the importance of death and renewal. At such a cellular level, they no longer needed to be reminded every month. In today's culture, the crone is in great danger of being crushed indeed. Young women attacking me and harassing and provoking me in clubs is one example. In a society where faster, better, younger is the theme and tattooed into our consciousness every day, the elders are very often overlooked and seen as nuisance, annoying, slow. Their beauty is smudged over and often shoved into care homes or confined to a bedroom in the house. Google has now usurped the throne of the wise one, which is a grave, grave error in our society. Even as a young child, I always sought out stories from wise old crones, instinctively knowing that I would need to learn the archetypes and their wisdom. Don't discard or disavow your elders. We see maiden archetype everywhere, the endless pursuit of youth. From a multi-billion-dollar market of beauty products to the movie screens, everyone wants to be young, plump and fresh. We see the mother archetype, the caring, loving mother, and as Lara Owen mentions in her book, although limited, it is even revered in religion. But the crone, where is she? She is hidden. She is stashed away. All that power hidden in her belly and nowhere to go. She has been pushed to abhor her post-menopausal state as though it is a condemnation rather than a blessing, as if not being able to birth children is now a curse that spills inward into a barren womb. All that wisdom rejected, unacknowledged, dishonoured in exchange for the pursuit of staying young and fertile, only to be ridiculed and mocked by a society that in paradoxical cruelty repudiates the crone as well. No, the crone cannot expect to be accepted without first accepting herself, knowing that her bones are indeed each day becoming more and more one with the earth. The silenced crone cannot demand a place in a society where she too has helped exile this archetype. This is why we need to speak of her, the crone, the holy guide that lives and will one day emerge from you. And when it does, you will have a choice. Will you let her in and feast on the banquet of your holy life experience, or will you shut the door in her face and leave her out to starve in hopes that the maiden and mother whom have left will someday come back? Many times I've wanted to write about the crone, even create for it, but I am held back by the misleading belief that I have to be one to speak of it. No more, my sleeping crone has whispered. You must begin to pave the way for my visit, planting seeds along the way that may bloom for my homecoming. Be ready when she comes home. Wrinkles and grey hair and arthritic, disjointed joints. She's still as fierce as when she was a young child, and she may yet surprise you, beloved ones. Thank you for the kiss, Charlie. Resting and gestating in me, she is harnessing strength to come and live fully, to guide, to teach, to dance, to remind, to slow me down, to make me softer, to be reflected on my skin, in my gaze when the time comes. So in the meantime, I will speak of the crone to our children and to anyone that will hear. I will honour the magnificently wise women I am surrounded by, sisters hiding their beauty behind veils. I will remind them, I will whisper, I will nudge, I will invite. Take off your veil. You are holy, sacred, wise women. You are here. You are a message. Now is your time to guide. It says Sacred Dreams, which I presume is the title of her book. My friend Sheila Snow, who I knew on Paltalk as Cheerful Spirit, who remains to this day a beautiful, blessed and cheerful spirit, wrote, I did a crone ceremony for one of my Shah sisters. She has been pushed to abhor her postmenopausal state as though it is a condemnation rather than a blessing, as if not being able to birth children is now a curse that spills inward into a barren womb. So in my case, I never had children. The pain of that is bittersweet, sometimes making me feel less of a woman. Somehow all these years I had held on to the hope to someday bring forth children. However, as this age of crone has lighted upon me, now there is a certain path that comes with it. Your chances have faded away, women. And I replied, so much of our identity as women is tied up with childbearing, but you are no less a woman because you have not birthed children. Hugs. Cronedom is a strange space to be in. I have felt very rejected, alienated, often abandoned since I became older. It's like walking through mud at times. My friend Laura Martin wrote, speaking as a rejected crone, I respectfully ask if I may share this piece on my timeline. And I replied, of course, I borrowed it from a group I am on, so if it resonates, so if it lets you, share it. Be my sister in cronedom. 18th of July 2019, trigger warning, sexuality. I woke up after being in pain throughout the night, same pain, not shifting. Anyway, I had intense dreams that I was airlifted to another hospital. Jared was by my side, but I kept losing consciousness. but I had watched medical personnel frantically working on my drain site where pain is still present, in real life I meant. I watched them looking up at x-rays and rushing about, then passed out, and I woke up in the dream to being on the edge of the sea, on a beach, under some kind of awning that extended from a house. I was very ill, but got up to paddle my feet in the ocean, which is so typical of what I would do in real life too. I turned and looked up the beach to see a woman approaching. I did not recognize her. She came right up to me and said, "You know me, I am your neighbour from across the road." I still did not recognize her, although she looked a bit like a woman who danced rather too wildly with me at the casino. I smiled and lied and said, "I remember you." She asked me how I was feeling. I thought this was incredibly kind, as she was a virtual stranger. I replied, "Dying, but all good. I have been dying from the moment I first drew breath, and all of life leads to this point." I smiled. She embraced me and said, "I came all this way to see you. I wanted so much to see you." I was still confused. Where am I? Jared arrived from almost out of nowhere. I had not seen him on the beach. He said, "Tanya, they shipped you from the hospital. They did not know what to do. They never saw anyone's gallbladder put up such a fight. There were surges of electricity and sparks were flying. Your body fought so hard even when you were unconscious. They don't know how to treat you. No one does. So they have brought you to this isolated cove so you can die in peace or heal. You are the only one that holds the power over your body." And that one sentence, "You are the only one that holds the power over your body," is the absolute truth. I walk away to process this news. I put my feet in the gentle waves that lull upon the greyish-coloured sand. Where am I? The sand is not the colour of Byron or Noosa. I keep wondering, where the fuck am I? Then I wake up in pain, and I almost laugh to myself, still fighting, still living, still blowing my own mind, still loving. Other memories flash to my mind. My first French kiss at 13, a set-up by a school friend, a little handmaiden who had lured me to meet these boys. I was not interested, but I was staying at her house, so I had no choice but to follow her. But this was no boy, 18, old enough to vote and go to war. So I sat with my friend on the grass, but she quickly went off with her boy. I was stuck with this young man, trying to be polite, but not really there. He kissed me. It was nauseating. His tongue lolling inside my mouth and almost down my tonsils. I was in shock. I removed myself mentally as I had learned to since early childhood, but my body was rigid. He sat up. "Did you like that?" I replied with a voice that was flat and tasted of death. "Not particularly." I got up, dusted myself off, walked away, ghastly. But it was my first empowerment, speaking my truth and walking away. Curiosity had led me astray, wanting to be an adult woman, a sexual being, a mother one day. And for what? Ha ha ha. To be sold out again and again, even by other girls and women. The next adult kiss, when I was 17, was at a nightclub. I know. I was underage, there for the dancing, so convinced of my ugliness that I would not be approached by any male. But I was beautiful and desirable and sensual, and I did not even know it. Some dude danced with me, seemingly innocently at first, then planted one on me. Ooh! Ooh! I felt sickened to my core, with an entire nightclub watching. I stepped away and wiped my face, deeply humiliated. I ran to the bathroom to wash my face and retch. Then I walked up to my friend whom I had known since high school, another traitor. I said, I'm going home. She wanted to stay. I said, please come home with me. They only want to fuck you here. She refused. Up for the fucking. I went home and vomited. I worried about her all night. I felt guilty for leaving her with those creeps. Next day I rang her and she said she went home with a guy and they played Scrabble all night. Yeah, right. I had worried more for her than for myself. I never went out with her again. Let her do her own hunting for her cunting. So imagine my surprise when I finally received my third adult kiss with my first boyfriend, later husband, and I liked kissing him. I was 17 and a half. I guess the fucking hormones had finally kicked in, am I right? I was a late bloomer, probably because of my childhood abuse. Here I write, my hormones must have finally kicked in. Jesus. So I thought liking kissing him meant I was in love. Well, sorta, kinda. I'm still in denial about that. So I stuck with him out of fear. My sexuality was only for him, and as he was a selfish lover, it did not fully blossom until 2 years after our divorce, when I was 32. While everyone else had been fucking madly or madly fucking and carelessly carefree, I was an oppressed, uptight, traumatized, born-again virgin. Could pretty much say the same actually, except I'm not quite so uptight, nor am I quite so oppressed, but born again, yeah baby. This time it's been 10 years of celibacy. And if I open for a man, it better be a wondrous, beauteous experience, because here I write, then all hell broke loose. I'm not even sure why I'm still holding back on my sexuality, which started flickering back to life about 2 years ago. I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. I suppose I made a promise to myself to wait for the one, so I guess I'm yet to identify who the one is and who's worthy of my heart, mind, body, spirit and soul. And I'm receiving much romantic kind of frotterings and offerings and sweetness, but hasn't manifested into 3D reality yet, and may never, given the situations we're both in. But anyway, honour and integrity above all things. Sex is wonderful when you can get good sex with someone who actually adores you, but anything less than that, it's just a biological function. You might as well take a dump in the toilet half the time. It can be that bad. If only men realised the difference it makes between being truly loving and in love and just, it's, for a woman it can be a bitter disappointment. It eats away and eats away and eats away until there's almost nothing left of your innate 17-and-a-half-year-old desire. Now I'm returning to my then musings. Now at 54, I've been celibate on and off for 16 years. Wow. Well, we can add another 5 years to that, so 21 years. This is why I can stand in the middle of an almost Maynard type, almost orgy, and just sit there very circumspect and feel nothing. Because, as I said, I'm waiting for the man who has enough magic and enough power and enough honour towards me that he makes me yield to his masculinity, his divine masculine, and it would take a very special man to make love to me the right way. It's been, I've had a few wonderful lovers in my time, don't get me wrong, but by the gods, that magic happened because, I don't know, I guess there was a level of them looking at me with such awe and admiration and kind of treating me like the most precious gift of my sexuality was a gift to them. And when that happened, I would just bloom like a 1,000-petaled lotus, and it was a joy for both myself and my lover in that space and time, I guess. Anyway, some of them weren't worth a scrap of my fingernail, and some of them, the love was so intense it actually didn't have anything to do with the sex we had. Like the love between Davidson and I was so all-consuming, but he was actually not. He was not all that actually a wonderful lover. I'd had better, and I've had better since too. But anyway, there was some kind of soul bonding or soul trap. I don't know what the fuck that was. That meant he haunted me when he died for 4 consecutive nights. And he's still coming through, occasionally in trance drummings, telling me how he's trapped, and I'm blocking him by not allowing a man to be my lover. And it's like, it's got nothing to do with that spirit. My sexuality and who I allow into my inner being has got nothing to do with that demonic spirit. So as a consequence, I'll take my sweet time. So I don't want to make any more mistakes with my body, mind, heart, intellect. I need and want a man who treats me with kindness, consistent devotion, love, respect, honour, integrity, generosity, who happens to also, when we finally get down to the argy-bargy, be a wonderful lover as well. 21 years of celibacy in my adult life, add 17 and a half to that, 38 and a half years of celibacy out of a woman who's 59 years old. By the gods, why would I waste my energies on anyone who isn't completely and utterly besotted and in love with me and means it? It's why would you bother? I'm not judging those of you who are extremely promiscuous and extremely sexually active. You're probably in a better space than I am in a way, because you're enjoying your bodies, which was how we were designed, and you do you, whatever works for you. But this is how I cope with my cumulative traumas, protect my heart space and my sacred chakra, sacral space as well. And if I fall in love with a man, he gets all of me. And some men can't handle that either, unfortunately. Charlie, this was a very nice jumper I had on. It was actually pristine and clean. Dear goddess. Where was I? Oh yeah, now at 54, I've been celibate on and off for 16 years. So it always amuses me when some random who doesn't know me at all calls me a slut, by the way. I just laugh my ass off. Anyway, I do have Maynard type qualities. So I've seen it come out in the club when I'm surrounded by women who are in their full estrus, and I just kind of direct the energy and smile sweetly with my fan, because I'm kind of, I guess, vicariously getting soaked in their pheromones, but it doesn't bother me, you know. I don't have the wherewithal to create those kind of pheromones since I don't have a uterus anymore. So it's just, it's kind of a biochemical kind of enlivenment, but it's, you know, I just direct it and send it back to wherever it needs to go, and watch the horny ones go about their business. Literally, some of them I think are in the business, to be honest, and watch the young, you know, do what young people are designed to do, which is to fall in lust and procreate. Hopefully not right in front of me, though. I hate that. I just hate that crass behaviour. Go and lust and procreate wherever the fuck you like, just not right in front of me in the club, please. Anyway, here I write, I don't gift my body unless I want to. I haven't wanted to for years, except one time last year, just to check I was still a vital, vibrant woman. Got that out of the way and back to celibacy. Dead Elvis Lemonade Man was a cheap bore, and I did know better. I like my life this way, less complicated. I feel less used, betrayed, abused. No sexual partner ever loved me, not even my husband. Blech. The chutzpah, his regrets, not based in reality. My heart belongs to only one. It's timeless and endless. The one man I wanted, really wanted, stymied and sabotaged by envious, vicious bitches. I sabotaged too. I loved too much, like a dickhead, which is why 10 years later I'm tamping it down and tamping it down. But I know I know I'm in love again. I know it's probably not all that good, but I'm only human after all. But here I write, back in 5 years ago, but no good crying over spilt milk. I know when I die that I tried to exist in a world of depravity, naivete and betrayal. I stood up for myself and protected myself as best I could, even in my psychedelic dreams. I meant nothing to most people, especially in my core family. I'm going to lose these earrings. They keep getting nudged out by the polo collar. No earrings today. Well, I'll just have to put on even bigger earrings. Go large, people of Earth. I meant nothing to most people, even in my core family. I was declared dead, hated, scorned, betrayed and abused. But I got up. I stood up. And hell, sometimes on that casino dance floor, I even fucking flew. There were a few who saw me and recognized my spirit, a few who loved me and treated me with honor. Those people mean the world to me. You know who you are. Smiley face. So even in my dreams I am dying, but you know what? I am also living well, righteously, ebulliently. You can't bottle this effervescence, the scent of a woman that kept getting up. Hoo-ha! A dream and a kiss. Posted this photo of Beauregard and I titled it, "This would make a great painting." Yes, Charlie, I bet she would. Maybe Mummy might paint him again one day. I did paint him for the side of my little black shelves, but oh bless. He just looks so happy and fluffy and furry and his long, long eyelashes. My boy. Here's the full shot with my friend Jared and little Beauregard beside him. I visited Jared's new home at Mount Cotton and was beautifully reminded that we still live in Australia, mate. And for all of you overseas, here's what you get to see in the more bushy areas. Wallabies, cockatoos, wallaby, all sorts of lovely things. July 18th, 2018. Well, I achieved one thing today. I cleaned the copper collection in my kitchen, lovely and bright and shiny, now to manifest a matching mood. I also took Bobo and Charlie Bird for a quick walk around the block. They really enjoyed themselves. We haven't done that all week, Charlie. I picked a grevillea bloom for Charlie to gnaw on, so he was delighted about that. Bobo sniffed everything, peed on every garbage bin, and did a poo. That is happiness for a dog. And Laura wrote, "Way to go, Bobo." And he just took a photo of him looking back at her. He was a beautiful boy. Yes, he was. Hey Tanya, I was just wondering, is it yesterday or tomorrow in Australia? If it's tomorrow, would you mind looking up the winning lottery numbers for me? Don't think it quite works like that, Laura, but I could try. Oh, dear goddess. Feeling very drained and exhausted and unmotivated today. Just blah. Why is my phone going all funny? Oh. Tooth cavities still sore, probably a factor in my feeling so mundane. I'm looking forward to seeing Lynn tomorrow afternoon. I hope I feel better by then. Every day is just a constant hurdy-gurdy ride. Some days I am formidably fantastic and others sliding away. In the meantime, I am enjoying some sunshine, lying in my hammock and watching Gaia.com on my laptop. Blessed be, Mama T will be back soon. And here we are, my gorgeous boy and I. Here's all the copper, how it looks when it's all thoroughly cleaned and polished. It's a big bloody job, but oh, it looks so lovely when it's all done. Here's a photo of me when I was 4 years old, I think. Just before I think it was taken, we went to a professional photographer in honour of my sister's engagement, so I must have been 4 because she got married when I was 5. She was 20 when she married. My friend Nigel wrote, beautiful inside and out, and Rachel wrote, best pick yet, and Nigel wrote, the hand of justice, and I wrote, it's actually me, whatevering, but I think I vaguely remember the photographer throwing me a ball, which I was actually trying to catch. But I call it my whatever photo. I think we all need to go out into an empty field and just scream for about an hour. Yeah, baby. I can't believe in 2018 black cats are still the least adopted cats in shelters. Why don't people want to look like a witch? Why don't you want a small panther in your house? Indeed, I love black cats, they're beautiful. Here I wrote, I love my witchy ways and I love all my cats, but especially my black ones. If I were wealthy, I would own a black panther for real. Oh, that would be awesome. That used to be a fantasy of mine when I was a teenager too. Would have come in handy given the kind of creeps I used to attract too. I could have just unleashed the cat on them. The cat could have really been set amongst the pigeons. Stool pigeons to be exact. 18th of July 2017. Yes, I know, Charlie. Stressful but productive day. I locked myself out of my house and car by leaving the keys inside as I carefully shut the front door. Grrr. I was on my way out to buy a beautiful garden pot I bought on Facebook Marketplace. So I had to ask my neighbour Timsa to help me break into the back door of my house. He was happy to help, but got confused about not having a crowbar. So I assured him we could do it with the garden weed digging out tools and a big screwdriver, and so we did. Oh dear goddess, the things I do. Then my iPhone GPS tried to send me to the Gold Coast, so I had to get off at Rochdale shops, stop, recalibrate, etc., etc. I finally made it to the woman's house to buy the pots, then recalibrated to find Rochdale Produce, which is next to IKEA. Then the drive home with heavy pots and laying mash in the boot, but the pots rattled around and I stressed the whole way back that they were breaking. All good. Next job, can wait until tomorrow as my nerves are shattered, will be to get a spare key cut, buy potting mix for the new pot and plant something nice in them. Having a late lunch with the delicious Greek lasagna that Jared cooked for me last night. Delicious. Thank you, Jared. Love you. Glad to be home. This is in 2017 now. Oh yeah, we were in 2017. Okay, got confused for a moment. Glad to be home with my guys, grounding and enjoying mid-afternoon sun. My guys is when we thought Charlie was a boy. And you can see there, I'm wearing, you can almost see it, my Transvaal Diamond Syndicate band t-shirt, which I absolutely loved and wore to death. And my daughter told me that I was ridiculous for running around wearing band t-shirts like a teenager. And I told her, well, I didn't have a proper bloody adolescence, hooking up with her stupid father. So I do what I want, whatever, now that I'm old. So she sneered at me and I sneered back. And it was a Mexican standoff, but too bloody bad. Here's another photo of me from 2017. I actually look really happy there. Really happy. And dare I say it, even a bit beautiful. Pity about having to wear glasses though, but it is what it is. Tarina Edwards wrote, love this shot, so natural and fresh. And I replied, lol, Tarina, not so natural. In fact, full makeup. But yes, I like this photo too. My rebellious, fresh streak is back in my eyes. Jan wrote, beautiful. Here I shared some photos just of me clowning around with my dog, which is what we used to do a lot. When in doubt, clown around with your doggy. Live your best life. Now I clown around with my bird, don't I, Charlie? Say hello to people, Charlie. Who's that birdie? Who is that? Is that you? Is she a pretty birdie? Gonna give me a kiss? Okay. She was a bit freaked out seeing herself in the iPhone mirror, screen, whatever you call it. Lila Tov, good night. Friends, countrymen and women and Sai-Sai's stalkers, see you anon. 18th of July 2016. Ah, lovely photo of the chooks with socks and Mushu sitting on the table. Betty and Tabitha Hen going about their business, being Betty and Tabitha. Both in Valhalla now. All of them are in Valhalla. I've lost them all. That's why I get immersed in grief still to this day. Look, Charlie, Mr. Crow's out there in the garden. Look. Say hello, Mr. Crow. No, he's gone. My aquaponics garden is doing well, except that evil bastard Buranda Housing made me get rid of them, which is just nuts. There's no reason why I need to get rid of all those lovely ponds. just his sheer spite. He's growing lovely vegetables in there and everything. Here's a very happy little 4-year-old Tanya indeed. Oh, there you go, sweetheart. You only knew then what you knew now. It would not have been good, baby girl. Be grateful you didn't know. I am gradually decluttering my life. It feels good to eliminate excess dross from my house, body and mind. Purge so I can surge. I remember burning all the documents, photos and other evil lying bullshit by Buck Shearer that I had collected from my mother's house in 2008 for evidence. 4 bags of poisonous, vile shit. It was so painful to go through, but Lynn, who helped me, and I found some interesting insights into his sick, greedy, perverted mind. He had even written to Elizabeth Taylor, hoping to get in touch with Rock Hudson, whom he claimed was a cousin of his, lol, and another letter penned to Aristotle Onassis. But he accused me of bipolar disorder. Always be wary of people who try to label you, by the way. It's usually their own projections. Do you see me begging wealthy stars or famous people for money? After we laughed until we cried, the enormity of the betrayal of the adult guardian letting that vile con artist abuser keep control over my mother and her finances really hit home with a bone-crushing incisiveness. Yes, evil is fated in this world. So here I sit with stuff, worthless white elephant stuff, as we are all waking up to anti-consumerism and greed. We are all aware that nobody needs 4 cars or 5 televisions, or walk-in wardrobes crammed to the gills with clothes we never wear because we can't fucking find them, laughing my ass off. Yeah, I still have way too much stuff. Too many books, my treasures that fell from other minds. Under my house is crammed full of Crystal's former life also. Some days I think I should just burn it all and run away, hair flying in the wind, screaming, streaming into the void. But stuff keeps me anchored like a tent pin to the ground, like a tent pin through my neck. Some of my treasures I will never part with, too beautiful or too hard won, but much of it needs to be released and realised. We went to the dog park. Beauregard had a fantastic time, including lying down in deep muddy puddles. So I have given him another bath. Oh my. We came home after an hour or so as he got snarky and aggressive with the other dogs, which he does when he is exhausted. But he had so many friends today, it was all very good. This song is stuck in my head, so I hope it helps somebody by sharing it. Yes, I am a highly sensitive psychic, and yes, it is often annoying, but so beautiful when the message is real, needed, and comes to me in tiny refrains or gifts from above. Thank you, Adonai, for the time of my life. And it was Jim Croce, or Jim Croce, don't know how to pronounce his name actually, Time in a Bottle, 1973. I think that's that song that goes, if I could catch time in a bottle, la 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 la, something like that, I think. But I can hardly breathe, never mind even attempt to sing, so there is that. Please excuse me, I'm in denial most of the time about both my breathing and my singing. Trigger warning, revenge. Cup of tea time for those of you of a fragile, delicate nature. When I look back on the past 6 years since my mother died, Courtney dumped me, then after a year of epic grieving, I put on my boots and took charge of my life, socialised in strange places, where my angels sent me in one of their missions that I still don't know what that was about, but what a trip. It ended badly, of course. Nasty men threatening me with a teeny tiny lady pistol, so tiny it could fit in an evening handbag. It was ridiculous, didn't even look real, except it was. But my true friends in the hierarchy were never told how I was impolitely sidelined. It's all good. I had a ball, playing pool, laughing, and meeting interesting characters for 8 months until that little event happened. For my part, I was a good influence on my few women friends there, actively protected them as by the gods one of them was green, far out. The other one badly needed dentures, so I told her in my usual matter-of-fact agony aunt way. She was a pretty little thing with shattered teeth. Before I was threatened, which I still believe was to keep me safe only a few months before more serious shit went down, she drew me into the bathroom and proudly showed me her raw gums, finally free of the dental carnage. She was so happy and proud. I was for her too. I bet she looks gorgeous with her new dentures. As I had told her, your face is your fortune, and teeth are the first thing anyone notices about you. Mine cost me $10,000 of my small inheritance, but so worth it after the horrendous mess the Queensland public dental system made of my front teeth. Now I can laugh and smile without cringing. People treat you with more respect when you have nice-looking teeth too. Anyway, after that time, celebrating my freedom while stressing about my will dispute, I started frequenting Irish Murphys. I had a ball there too for a couple of years until the cliquey fucks got envious or threatened or whatever. Creeps. Also, I would not tolerate the misogyny in that place. Fuck us and our pussy indeed. Filthy, disrespectful, rape culture, bastards. So I was banned for life for calling them out on their bullshit. So now I have a hex on that place. Ha ha. Actually more like a curse, really. It can last for generations. I don't care, I've got time. All good. So now that place is slowly unravelling, and the band that was their biggest draw card are going to be playing at the casino. Oh dear. Oops. How long will they keep their foul, trashy mouth under control? I will be watching and waiting. It will be like watching a train wreck, laughing my ass off. Every time they abuse women who pay for our own drinks and deserve to be treated with respect as much as any male patron, they fuck themselves in their own ass. Karma is a bitch. I think they will learn in time. If you want people to support you, treat them right. Women are people. Yeah? Some of us are powerful people indeed. Only we don't always know it. If we did know it for sure, we would be more than a little bit dangerous, darlings. Anyway, the past 6 years have been a watershed for me. I have liberated myself from the shackles of so much hatred. I have stood on my own feet, been counted, even loved by a few good people. I have had some fun. I have suffered immensely, as always, but I have also been seen and heard and at times validated. Things are slowly improving for women in the Brisbane CBD after my epic fighting with the system and police, all on CCTV. I wonder if they still get off on my little complex PTSD escapades. Laughing my ass off. What a life! One Englishman I met one night compared me to Boadicea. He also thought I was a Kentish girl, which is insane, as I am a New Zealander with a strong Kiwi accent still. Anyway, he thought I was a quote-unquote bloody legend. I don't know about that. I'm just bloody angry with abusers most of the time. But he was kind to me. All a woman like me wants is kindness and respect. It is not much to ask for, but a rare commodity these days in our new age of barbarism. Much later, I fell in love with another Englishman. Why? Perhaps because he was such a gentle soul, or so I thought. I need a calm, stable, devoted man. Instead, I need to keep myself calm and stable and be devoted to myself. That way, I won't get mired in grief and disappointment by any more players, headfuckers, and their minions. Been there, done that, and got the final visitations to prove it. Ha ha, hardy hardy ha ha ha. Only that visitation in 2016 was not funny. Anyway, time marches on and my life is ready for a new direction. I wonder how or what or where and when it will manifest. My angels have my back, but by God, it would be nice if they just let me be happy, peaceful, surrounded by real, authentic, genuine love for once in my God-forsaken, impoverished life. Enough, or better yet, more than enough to sustain me on my last journey. Sustain, bless, and ennoble me. Cheers. Thanks a lot, chums. Written in 2016, and here we are, 8 years later, babies. I'm starting to see it. Please God, it's real and continues and moves forward with me in kinship and deep abiding love and in authenticity and in trust and in grace. Dear Goddess, here I shared a piece of writing from Ancestral Medicine Woman. Women, if you want something in life, you have to make a stand for it and take it. Respect, love, acceptance, position, objects, they all require you making a stand for it. Go into solitude, get clear on what you want, and practice making a stand for that. Make a defiant stand to the mind-body as well as the mind and body. This is what I want, and we are taking it to the world. Then develop your strategy for taking it to the world. In doing so, it might make you sick, emotionally crazy. But that is just the mind and body protecting you, keeping you in the old safe ways. Again, make a defiant stand to the mind, body. This is what I want, and we are taking it to the world. They will fight hard, sometimes almost to the brink of death. No, she wrote, sometimes almost to the death. Been there even recently, yet again, my body fighting hard, the CPAP machine, wanting to choose death rather than a life of ignominy, falsity, treachery, putrid mother hydrid babies, wormid brain ones harassing me in clubs, or my own daughter's abandonment, rather than a life of loneliness and rejection and othering, which I experienced yet again when I went out last night in the little Indian restaurant on my way home, being othered. Am I in your way? I was so sweet and polite because I was in a good mood. Just said, no, I'm actually bemused by you watching you put on your winter coats, ready to do battle with the elements outside. In my way. They were threatened by my bikie jacket, by the way. Threatened by a symbol of the working class, lest I be dirty and underbelly and a bit depraved. I should have said to her, yes, my love, you are in my way. It will behoove you to get out of my way immediately. But I'd already had one massive fight on Saturday, early Saturday morning, and wasn't in the mood for engaging with yet another wormied, judgmental, infested motherfucker, by the way. Paddington, though, it's a bit posh. They're a bit judgmental. And I, who have walked in the most elite worlds, when I was operating as secretary of the Victoria University of Wellington Student Union, rubbed shoulders with la creme de la creme. So I fear neither snobby, ivory-towered elites nor gronking, bottom-dwelling, scum-sucking, low-level demonic entities. Get out of my way. If you're not with me, you're agin me. But there I was, trying to merely enjoy my lovely mango chicken with coconut rice, for the love of all the gods. But I took it on board. I was observing, and we are living amongst humans who no longer have their full capacity to be human anymore, and it's a little bit confronting, to say the least. I'll repeat that last paragraph, second last paragraph. Again, make a defiant stand to the mind and body. This is what I want. I want my world back, where everyone lived in reasonable respect for each other, or at least in some modicum of harmonic resonance. I want my truly loving man, my life partner, to choose me and begin a real and passionate, devoted love. What else do I want? More than just barely enough. What else do I want? Peace, shalom, salam. Which one of those things am I likely to get? It's in the lap of the gods, as always, my darlings. But I put it out. This is what I want, and we are taking it to the world. They will fight hard, almost to the death. You have to stay with your resolve and break them. Then the path opens to learning to take what you want to the world. Like some man, as I was walking up to the Lord Alfred Hotel, as I walked past, eyeballing me, turned to his friend. She's beautiful. A sweetness, a kindness. Odd, but odd. All I was doing was walking up the street, dodging the crowds, but it was nevertheless a kindness. This is a typical journey of healing. No herbs or medicines, just a soul taking defiant stand for something new. Take your stand. Yes, stand in your own power, even though society mocks you, bears you down, rapes your body, mind and spirit. You must stand up and be counted, or die trying. I wrote this in 2016, completely unaware of what was to come, by the way. All life will be dust and ashes, tasteless, musicless, empty and vapid, living death. Passion, truth, love are the only things that bring meaning and often peace to the world and or ourselves. I agree wholeheartedly with what I said back then. And yes, remain defiant, take your stand. If you don't hold in your own integrity and take your stand, you'll get mowed down, people of Earth. Here's the picture that accompanied it, which I thought was also quite interesting and beautiful. Here's Charlie. Mama has to go and get something to eat soon. I went to the shops, but I didn't buy very much last night. We need to buy some a roast chicken and make a nice soup, I think. What do you say? She says, okay, Mama, you do what you want, whatever. He had a bath and a blow dry tonight after his mud pool fetish at the dog park. He did, he really needed it. He was absolutely filthy, but he was a happy doggy after that. Wasn't he, Charlie? Full moon tonight, no wonder my emotions are pressurized. Need a good howling. Correction, it will reach its zenith on Wednesday, but the energies are intense. I can already feel them. 11:51 p.m. Time to schluff. Exhausted. Lila Tov. Good night. The moon is mine, yours, and everyone's, but you can be a pull on the emotions. 18th of July 2015. Best day ever. Happy dance. If only my bank would retrieve my $300 from Coles Express and Select, then my life would be perfection. Oh, they really were thieves. Then they sat on it for weeks to get interest. They eventually did give my money back, but it took weeks and weeks. It's just disgraceful. 18th of July 2014. 3:24 a.m. Home from a night out with Joe at Irish Murphy's in the casino. I danced with Jabber and my awesome friends, saw Tootsies, but happy, kabuti, smiley face. I meant caboose. I guess you guessed that right in the first place. It's all good. Wellington weather, minus the driving rain, almost feels like home. Slept all day, grief over unrequited wig slowly easing, must go out, have fun, and not be seduced by any more narcissists or sociopaths and faking head fuckers. Ah, sweet misery, laughing my ass off. I'm loving my life even if my heart is duct taped together. I just let it out on a very long string to play like a yo-yo, and if I don't like the way my heart is being treated, I reef it back in and punch it back in my chest. Yes, I do, babies. My heart is a bit too playful. This last time it got me unexpectedly. I was actually not even being all that nice to the former love interest. I was paying out on him big time. Then one night, boom, I was a goner. Sighs. Love should always be a pleasant surprise, methinks. Now to get over the bad case of the heartache blues like the flu. Eventually, you get over it. Life is about kicking ass, not kissing it. Those shoes would have been extremely uncomfortable though, but I remember when they were in fashion. It was around about that time, in fact. It's when I bought my beautiful Doc Marten boots. Actually, no. I think I bought them with my inheritance in 2012. Yes, that's correct. 18th of July 2013. So earlier this evening I was feeling blah, then a friend rang me to dump on me her blahs. And as her blahs are pretty much resonant with my blahs, I commiserated with her to my detriment. Lol. Moral of the story, don't answer the phone when feeling fragile unless you know for sure it's a positive person. My microwave died today, a silent, graceful death. It heated my pasta, then just blinked out. I thought it was a fuse at first, but the fuses are fine. I must say I'm glad it didn't blow up with a bing and a bang. Scary. Here's a photo of someone not so scary, absolutely gorgeous and adorable and greatly missed to this day. My little Bella Rosa Aarons. Yes, Charlie, you're the last of all the pets. The only last one. She only came into my life in 2017, so there is that, Charlie. I'm holding on to you, Charlie, as long as we can. Yes, I know. 18th of July 2011. Carol recommended this exotic beauty to me, and I must say I am impressed. Sehr schön und verrucht, aber sehr kitsch. Und I think I like it. Jawohl. In English that translates as very nice and crazy, but very kitsch, and I think I like it, for sure. Nina Hagen, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I have 4 very happy Siamese fighter fish as I changed their water today. Mama's got to go bring your cage in. I'm getting really cold. Got to do it soon before the chill sets in, Charlie. They look all shiny and new and doing this weird fishy shimmy with their fins. They also really enjoy the heating pads. I bought them. I might shimmy a bit more, why not? And being a Vita fish. Oh, they used to be so happy when they had clean bowls. They would do like a little fishy dance. As I worried this winter would kill them, warm fish, clean water, and their beautiful human servant. Life is good. My darling Jared visited with Harvey today. Bella squealed with happiness to see Harvey. They both discovered that I have a possum sleeping in my possum box at long last. So cute. But Harvey is a very good tree climber, so we had to make sure he didn't attack the possum. I spent the remainder of the afternoon tying the dendrobiums down, so hopefully possum won't dislodge them again, and tying the vanilla orchid to the tree because it's not growing much. There's only 2 small root tendrils poking out, so I figure if it is tied close to the tree bark, it might cling better and grow better. Here's hoping. It didn't, it bloody died. Then I tried another one and that died too, so I'm a bad vanilla orchid mummy. I also wove the jasmine vine onto the chair a bit more. It's full of tiny new buds, so will bloom soon, I think. Hopefully by next year it will cover the chair properly. That's my plan, lol. Update 2020. Damn, both the dendrobium and the vanilla orchid died, but the jasmine is thriving, although it no longer grows on the rattan wicker chair. That rotted out too, but grows up the golden rain tree. And here I write, I am bored, I am fractious, I need to play. I have dog booked, YouTubed, texted, imbibed copious licorice toffees, which is not a healthy food group for dinner. Watched True Blood, anything to procrastinate from the never-ending sludgery and drudgery that awaits me at the kitchen sink. I'm bored, but not enough to kowtow to Urbania and be responsible for my own disgrace. I have decided that when I am rich and richer, I will buy one of those magnificent machines that are good dirty dish hiders that eventually rinse and repeat. Sigh. Psychedelic dreamer is manifesting again, and I don't want a festy man to do the dishes. I want the latest technology. Thank you very much. And on that rather sweet and comical note, thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. And I hope you're having a lovely day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are on planet Earth in the space-time continuum. And remember, stay true like glue, love the ones who truly, deeply, authentically love you back, and let the rest just go be awesome somewhere else. And remember, as always, never ever let the bastards grind you down. Bye from Charlie. Say goodbye to the people, Charlie. Say goodbye to the people. Say bye, people of Earth. Oh, thanks, Charlie. She said goodbye to something from her orifice instead. Oh, well, Charlie, it is what it is. Bye-byes.